Stiff leg deadlift, okay? Now, generally, you're gonna feel majority of your hamstrings doing the work when performing this exercise. So, when it comes to our setup, feet are about hip width apart, similar sort of setup to a normal conventional deadlift, but now the big difference being, before we lift, instead of the bar being in direct contact with the shins, it's gonna be slightly out in front, maybe just over your toes or a little bit further in than that. The reason being is because our hips are so far up in the air that we then have to compensate by having the weight slightly out in front. So hips up in the air, back nice and flat. Hamstrings should feel loaded as if they're ready to spring up. Create tension throughout your body, breathe in and lift. Slight bend in the knees, good posture, lower the bar down, hips go back. Now, to break it down, your hips are doing about 90% of the work and your knees are doing about 10. So generally a rule of thumb is think about having soft knees or slightly bent knees. The rest of the movement is all gonna come from the hips, right? The hips, really focusing on that hinge portion of the movement. So other things to keep in mind, really make sure the distribution of weight is on your heels. Really make sure your hips are back. If you don't feel a great deal of length and stretch coming through your hamstrings, and tension throughout the exercise, then chances are something is off. So have a look. Go through those steps. Is the weight on your heels? Are your hips going back? Other than that, make sure your arms stay straight when performing the exercise and make sure you really maintain a good bracing through your core and through your midsection whilst performing the exercise. Tension is everything.